record. And I think I'm recording now, right? Let me make sure. Yeah, it looks like I'm recording. Okay. So the first thing that I want to discuss with you is it's the importance of keeping your files organized. So here I have my week 6. I have the AE file that I've prepared for the class today, but I'm going to also upload it to Canvas so you can download and look at everything that I've done. I've separated the music music files. Maybe I'll just keep the names a little shorter. I just say for the purpose of this exercise, I'm just going to say O1 and O2, but you can put the name of like the artist. I just downloaded this from a free resource, which I've also shared with you. So as you can see, my music is in its own folder, and I have also my assets, which includes a video. It includes a JPEG. I'm just going to do JPG. I don't really have to add the extension, but some browsers, they have issues. JPG. Okay. So I have a skateboarder and like two images and a video. So the first thing that I'm going to show you as what we're doing here is the power of like masking and the difference between masking and shape layers. So I'm going to make a new composition and I'm going to call it masking in class. Okay. If you guys notice somebody waiting in the wait room, please let me know because since I'm sharing, I'm not able to see if someone's in the wait room. So if you notice it, please let me know. Masking in class. Okay. So as you know, and again, these questions may or may not be on your test. So please pay attention. You remember when we made the shape layers, I basically just went into my shape layer icon, I dragged something, and I automatically got a layer that's a blue color, right? And I got the star based on these parameters, right? Again, if I don't have anything in my timeline, and if I use the shape rectangular or whatever option I have here, automatically is populated in my timeline with this blue color shape layer icon. Masking is different. So with masking to work, you have to create a solid first or Command Y. So if I do Command Y, again, you want to learn or Control Y if you're on a PC, you'll get this dialog box and I'm going to say name. And I'm going to just leave the color. So this would be the color of whatever the solid is going to be. And these are the size 1280, 720. I'm going to go say okay. And as you can see, the entire thing fills up with this purpley color. One thing that I want you to keep in mind, which is super important, look at the color of the mask. What's the color of the mask compared to shape layer?
Red.
Red. So as soon as you see the red, automatically you know, oh, this is a shape layer. This is that's basically what it tells you what this is. So actually, I'm going to not do that yet. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to just grab this little star or anything I want. Now, if I grab that, oops, make sure you're on the shape. Make sure this is selected. Make sure it's selected. If I drag it, it basically just gives me a mask of whatever shape I created. So if I want to do rectangular, I could do rectangular, and I could, whatever it is that I want to do, I could just sort of drag it and it kind of masks it based on my shape. Okay. So the one other thing that I'm going to show, so this is really important. So you can mask, you can have, if I want to have let's say if picture, let me just bring like one of these pictures in there. I have my picture in here. Let me get rid of this layer here. So I'm gonna actually get rid of all of it. So I'm going to bring this picture in here. And the media, the color of the media is this light, like a blue gray. So that means it's a picture, it's like a, JPEG or even an Illustrator file. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually make this much smaller. Bring it here. I'm gonna get rid of this name here. So this is like a photo that I got here. Just if you click Option Command or Option Control letter F, it's going to fit whatever it is into the actual canvas. So now, again, you want to make sure you selected it. And I could come back here and choose any of these shapes. And if I drag it, it basically crops the picture however, I choose to be. And it gives me a mask. And this is the parameters of the mask. I could keyframe the mask, come back to a different place, and extend the mask over time. So basically it's going to be kind of like that, or or however you want to kind of do that. So it's pretty simple concept. You can also mask text. So again, I can just bring my picture in here. I can just go and say San Pedro Port and make sure that I just put it somewhere in the middle. And then as soon as you highlight the text option, you get the parameters for text. So it says, oh, this is a gill sand, this is bold, this is 69 pixel. I can make it bigger or smaller. I can change the font. I can do whatever I want here based on these options that I have, which we'll discuss at a later date. So this one, I don't want the gill sand actually. I want something a little heavier. Ultra bold. Okay, so that's a little better. So now a good question to ask me is like, how do I put the picture inside the text, right? Because because this is kind of boring. So there's a lot of different ways that you could actually do that, which I'll show you. But anytime you actually see, like you put the text on the top of the picture, you have these options of track mats, which I'm going to discuss with you in depth at a later time, but this is just a general overview. So if you go through your modes, and if you don't see it, make sure you have this option clicked, the first one at the bottom left. If you click it, you have these stencil alpha luma options. So if I click that, automatically the picture is put inside of my text. I actually don't really like that. Let me make this. Oh, yeah, because it just needs to be a lot bigger. So if I did that, and I'm just going to make it bigger, you can see the picture, and then as you can even animate this, right? So that's that's how you would put a picture inside of something. If I'm going to delete the picture, now I'm going to actually have a video that I'm going to add. So I have this video of my birds. Now if I put the bird in, and see, as the bird's video is like this green color, as I play it, you can see that the video just plays behind, and I can animate the position of the video so it looks like it's moving. There's a ton of things that you could do here, but this is how you actually put video images um, inside of text. So if I did, I just basically made a simple animation here. Yeah, so I kind of want to see the bird though. I think the bird is on the left-hand side. So let's see here. Is it on the left-hand side? No, it's up. Yeah, it's actually, yeah, there it is. There it is. So if I play this, obviously it's playing really fast, but so any questions about masking? It's your time to ask, guys. Questions about masking? Any part of it is it pretty clear in terms of the difference? So let me ask you this. All right. What is the difference between making a mask and making a shape layer?
I had a question.
Sure, absolutely. Go. Mhm.
So that line where it's like it just controls like
This line?
yeah.
That's the keyframe interpolation. That's the speed of, so you remember how After Effects, when you make a keyframe, I think we had a short discussion about this. So in the old days, there was before there was an After Effects. Let's say Walt Disney, like Mickey Mouse, those cartoons, right? So the main artist would have to make two like major drawings of like the first keyframe or whatever they called it then, and then the second, like first position, second position, and they had production artists, like people who were just finishing school or interns. They would make the in-between keyframes by hand, right? Just to show the movement from the first keyframe to the second keyframe because the movement is changing based on frame by frame, right? So these dots are representative of like now After Effects. So you make the keyframe from the first one to the second one, and After Effects makes you all these, they call it tweening, or for lack of better words, like in between frames. So these are all, each dot represents a frame that is in a new position in time. The less dot means it's going to play much faster. The more dot means it's going to play much slower. So for example, let me go back to this. And if I drag this, see how it's squishing, like there's like much less keyframes. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's going to play much slower. Look, much slower. Now, if I go like this, I'm going to bring it all the way close, really close to the first keyframe, and it's going to play super fast, and it's just going to say, oh, you only have like one, two, three, four in between frames. See that? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is called keyframe interpolation in After Effects. The so these are all like one frame based on their position in time, that After Effects automatically creates for us, so we don't have to do it. But we do have to make the first and the whatever the main keyframes are, we're gonna have to make those. Okay, any questions on that? That was a very good question. Thank you for that. Any other questions? Any other questions about the keyframe interpolation and masking? So I'm asking you, what is the difference between masking and shape layers? Again, some of these questions may be on your test. So if you're not sure, ask so I can explain it for you.
I have a question.
Sure, absolutely.
Is there a way to use a mask to clip a background to make it into like a shape or with
Yeah,
that pattern?
absolutely. Sure. You can use the pen tool. Even though, but remember though, I mean, you can, absolutely no question about it, but After Effects is not a, you know, Illustrator is a much more powerful program when it comes to that type of thing, right? But yes, you can, I can just go and, create like a new solid. And then if I want to create like a specific right? Make sure you're on that. You can, whatever it is that you want to do. I'm actually going to show you, uh, like a bunch of different techniques that incorporates exactly what I'm just showing you right now. But yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And then
Mm-hmm.
that mask turns into a new layer that you can move around and stuff.
Yeah, so this is so I made this solid. So the
Mhm.
mask works off the solid, right? So you have
Mhm.
to, for you to have a mask, the first step is for you to have a solid or command Y. You have, without a solid, you cannot have a mask. So this was one of the original features of After Effects. Like when Effects came out in version 2, or actually version 3, it had a mask, right? And whereas the shape engine tool, which is way more powerful, came like 10 years later or something. Yes, you can do any of these, anything that you want to create. And another thing that you could do, which is really fun. So let me quickly do that. I don't want to, I mean, this part I haven't, I plan to show you later, but I'm going to show it to you now because we're on the topic. Here, let's say you have so I put a text in, but it could be a shape that I made in Illustrator. It could be a shape that I made in After Effects. It doesn't matter. But remember, Illustrator is a program to create illustration, and After Effects and Illustrator talk really well together, right? So unless if it's something that you just want to make sure you do it in After Effects, you can create your shapes in Illustrator, custom shapes, and just import it. But let's say I have this text and I want to keep some of the mask, just have it as a mask, but I also want to have it as a shape layer. Well, remember, you can just go and create shape. You can do both ways. You can create shape from text. Boom. So it just now gave me a shape layer based on the mask that I had created. And the same technique would work for any Illustrator file as well. That was a very good question too. Thank you for that. Any other questions? Anything you want me to go over based on the difference between masking versus shape layers? And again, you can have video, you can remember. So one quick question. If I want to I have a video, if I wanted to come through the text, what should I use in my layer modes? What settings should I use in my layer modes? Come on, guys, you know this. Come on, you know it. Oops. What should I use?
Silhouette Luma.
So now, oh, because I'm wondering why it wasn't working. Okay, so if I want the video to come through the text, you want to use your mode, stencil, alpha. The Luma works too, but the alpha is like a little brighter. So now you can have the video, play inside your text. And it could be, I mean, I just put the text in. I mean, I could just put a shape if I wanted to. I could do like, again, you have to make sure command uh Y and then you just want to have your shape, whatever it is. And there are different ways of doing this, but I'm just showing you like one way. And once you do that, you get a mask option here. And then you can use your mask option, keyframe your mask, then expand your masks. And I will be showing you a bunch of different ways of doing, oops, sorry. Yeah, yeah. I don't know what that line is. Oh, because probably I had a little, Yeah, it's probably, let's see, where is that line? Oh, it's not really gonna show. It's just for my own reference to show me the path of the mask. I can move this around, then I can just expand it like this, and so on. Boop, 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 boop. All right. All right. So any questions on this part? And I actually, and one of the videos that I've made, let's see. So one of these videos, add sound, add mask. Okay, this one. This one I actually show you a lot more details.
M-Touch.
Let's make sure this. Okay, skip. Okay.
In this tutorial, I'll be going over how
So
to
on
use
this
masks, video, track mats, and also adding audio to your
so on this video,
and
yeah, I'm just showing you everything that I just showed you.
so
I'm showing you
just,
here,
you know,
but I'm
keyframe
also
this,
taping
go to
this.
different places,
And then I'm here's the picture.
frame,
I'll give you the
and you
picture, how you can
lower
add
this. And as you could see, as I'm
um,
going lower,
the audio to it.
and then
Yeah. So
lower
anyway,
it
so
down.
you have this resource, also this, I'm taping what I'm showing you right now, which should be helpful because these are pretty complicated techniques. All right, any questions? All right. So now let's go ahead and add like a little sound to this. So it's my bird. I'm gonna get it. I don't need the post picture. All right. So the way you add sound is basically it's just the way you add any item here. So again, I want you to get into a habit of using the quick keys to import because again, once you start working or interning, if you know your quick keys, that means you're going to save your company time. And those people who you work for, they're going to love you for it, as opposed to every single time you go to the top menu trying to look for things. Don't, just there's a few major quick keys that are universal between all the Adobe programs, right? So if I want to import something, what's the quick key for Mac or for Mac is command, for PC is control, and then the quick key. So if I want to import something, what should I press? Command or control, and what letter? Come on, guys, somebody should say something. At least try.
I,
Huh?
I,
Yes, I. Thank you. Who said that?
yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Pia. Thank you. Yes, I. So I'm gonna go this here, and this is my music. I'm going to just import. I don't even know what I imported, but I'm just gonna import it here, drag it in here, and now, oops, now if I uh play it, it'll just play. And like I said, there is a lot of different options for audio as well, which we are not going to talk about today. For today, we're just going to learn how to import. So, but I will be showing you like a lot of, you know, different, you know, After Effects is really not an audio program. So, but what we need to do for this class, I don't want you to jump around and using other programs. Um, so the one thing that I want you to know from the audio, that at least for today, again, I'm going to talk about these quick keys because I want you to know how to use them. So for audio, it's L, the letter L. As soon as I press one L, you see the audio level pop up that you could increase or decrease. And they're also here, the preview on the far top hand side. Because I have the layer selected, it automatically knows, oh, okay, you want the audio settings to be visible. If I do two L's, it shows me the actual audio waves where, some places may be higher, lower. This is pretty much similar all along, right? And of course, when I press my, it's just gonna play it. So we can also, so if I go back here, and if I actually, these are my controllers, oops. You always have to have this thing highlighted in order to change. See, as I'm lowering it, it basically reduces the volume here. And if I increase it, it increases the volume to very, very high. So these are like a visual representation of what's actually happening. And then, of course, if you do the L, you can say, okay, you know what? I want the beginning to be at 0. And then I want maybe at some point over here for it to slowly increase. And now if I do my LL, you can see that it basically starts like much slower and then it increases. But of course, we're gonna learn how to, these are way too high, right? Like it's getting, when it gets to this straight line, that means it's extremely high, and that's something we don't want to do, which will, like, that's like a whole class on its own. But just remember the letter L. I'm gonna get rid of these. L and LL are what you would be able to see your keyframes as well as the actual wavelength of the audio. Any questions on the audio? Any questions on the audio? No? Ready to move on?
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right. So we learned about masking, track mats to put things inside other shapes, text, and so on. So there are two other things I need to show you. One is going to be the more challenging one. So I'm going to start with the easier one first, is the keyframe interpolation. And I've also already made 3 layers for you. So there are different ways that layers interpolate speed from, especially when you're doing position or, like fades and so on. So as we know, we already discussed these dots, what these dots mean. Because if I zoom in a little bit more, oops, not that one, I need to go the other way. All right, there we go. You can see that they're all the same size and the same spacing between one another, right? It's just similar. But we do know when you throw a ball down, does the ball well, it goes faster down than when it comes back up, right? It's not the same speed. Or when you drive in a car, it when it has to interpolate the speed from like 0 to 55, it's starting at 0 and it goes through like 10, 20, 30, 40, whatever, right? And then when it's 55, then when you try to slow it down, it does the opposite. So it's never the same speed from these keyframes. Like for it to be a lot more natural, like the speed to be natural, it has to be interpolated correctly. So that's why you have these options of easing in and easing out. So there are 2 different ways. One, you just keep the setting, and I will show you how you're going to get there, is basically you create like an easier movement for all the keyframes. And then the other one is you slow, like it's called easy in, then easy ease, like again, the analogy of driving a car, 0 speed, goes to 55, you sit on 55 for like an hour, and then you ease out, you slow it down, speed up, stay, ease it out. So, and as you could see, they have the same exact keyframes, but the red one is just the linear, which is like the default setting, which all the speed are exactly the same. The green is the one that's like a second best option, which is like an easy ease. It's kind of kind of telling you, okay, I understand it's the speed manipulation, but I'm gonna make everything the same. I'll just make it easier. And then the magenta one is the one that I was telling you about, that it goes down faster and then it comes back up slower. You see that? Which is the more natural way of doing things. And then I don't know, it sped up for whatever reason. It should have been slower. But anyway, so that's the way you want to interpolate these keyframes. So now let me show you how you can do that. So this one by default, it looks like those diamond shapes. You guys are familiar with diamond shapes, right? So those are called linear keyframes, which means the speed of those are always going to be the same. Linear keyframes. The green one is different. It's kind of like an hourglass. Actually, both of the easy ease and the other one, they're the same. So the way you change these keyframes is as follows. So you can make your animation, then drag on both of them, and then you can control click on the keyframe. So that's like the fastest way. And then you have these options, keyframe interpolation or keyframe assistance. When you do keyframe assistance, you have these options like easy ease in, and easy ease out. So if I want my first keyframe to be easy ease in, if I go like this, keyframe assistance, easy ease in. And then now I can come back to the last keyframe, to the second keyframe, use this one. I'm going to highlight it. This one, I'm going to say easy ease out. Okay. Now let's see if this is, yeah, now you see that they're both the same. They're actually, even though that one is still a little off, maybe I may have moved something. But technically they both should be exactly the same because the magenta one is like easy ease in and easy ease out, and I just changed these two. So so this is how you manipulate the actual keyframes. Your animation is going to be a lot smoother if you actually do the easy ease in and easy ease out as opposed to just sticking with linear. For now, I'm not going to worry about it. You can just do whatever is more comfortable. But for later projects, we're going to be actually doing the easy ease. And we're also going to be using the graphic editor as well, which is a whole different planet. Which again, there's so much to cover, and sometimes I end up doing the graphic editor in the advanced class. But for now, just know the difference and that there are different ways of interpolating your keyframes. So easy ease in, easy ease out would be giving you a much smoother animation. Linear is just the standard, and for now it's fine. So for this project, I'm not gonna really ask you to change your keyframes. So any questions about the keyframes? Any questions about the keyframes?
So are they both supposed to go at the same time?
No, they're not supposed to go at the
Oh,
same time. Yeah,
Okay.
because because one is linear, one is the easy ease and the easy ease in and easy ease out. They're very similar, but for whatever reason, I may have changed like a keyframe by accident, but the easy once I changed this one to match this, it should have played the same. But probably I may have just moved something, so it could have been an operator's error. But for now, like I said, just remember the actual and anytime you're dealing with animation also, it's going to be under the animation keyframe assistance. So these would be your options. So, I mean, I don't like to go up the menu because, like I said, and we're not going to talk about the hold keyframe yet either. So the hold keyframe is also another way of manipulating your elements in After Effects. But remember, so the hold cam, this is also really important. But for now, just remember that we have these three different ways of smoothing out our animation. Uh, like there's this video tutorial where you have like a squishy ball. I don't know if we've talked about, we haven't talked about it here, but it's when a ball hits the ground and you want it to have this like a natural looking of like getting squished and jumping back up. But you can't do that if you're using like a linear keyframing. Um, Again, just for the purpose of what we're doing today, just know that those options are available for when we learn the more advanced techniques of animating things in After Effects. But like I said, for this project, you do not need to change your keyframes at this point. Okay. Any questions about these different kinds of keyframes? And again, it's in this composition that I've named keyframe interpolation.
I have a question.
Sure, absolutely.
So, in order to ease in, let's say you have like a keyframe that's A and a keyframe that's B and a
Mm-hmm.
keyframe C,
Mm-hmm.
would you highlight A and B only,
I'm
not
sorry.
C?
I'm sorry. Go again.
So, like, let's say the ball has only three keyframes. A is it at the top, B is it hitting the floor, and C is it going back up again.
Yeah. So this one has, let's see how many this one has. This one has 4. Let me get rid of this one. So let me just see. So we have this one, we have this one, and then we have this one. Okay. So what is your question now? Let's say these are
So,
3 keyframes. Uh-huh.
right. So let's say you wanted it to like ease in, and then once it hits the floor, it eases out. Would you only highlight the first two
Yes,
keyframes for ease in and then the second two for ease out?
exactly. So let's say, yeah. So I would click this keyframe and I just do keyframe assistant, easy ease in. And then I go to my next keyframe. And this one, I don't want it to be easy ease in. I want it to be just easy ease. Like, okay, just play it cool. And then the last keyframe, I want it to ease out. So this would be easy ease out. However, sometimes you may have like too many, maybe there's another keyframe here that you want to keep as the same speed as easy ease, right? Like you just want it to be, let's see here. Keyframe resistance, easy ease. Okay. I'm gonna just do it like this, and then maybe we do it like this. So now, so it just plays super slow there, right? And then it shifts back up. See what it's doing?
Yeah.
So it allows you for a lot more smoother control. And then, of course, you can go physically in there, like once we actually learn about the graph, editor, and you can kind of So that's a whole, like that gives you a lot more power, like in terms of certain types of more advanced animation, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, just remember this, that's basically the easy ease. It allows you to, like this, as far as the speeding is concerned. So if you don't want this to be staying here just super slow within these two keyframes, if I delete one, then it's gonna just do like what it was supposed to be doing, like boom, boom. And see how much slower it goes back up.
Mhm.
Whereas this other one, which is just linear, everything is just the same, right? It doesn't feel natural.
And does it go back up slow because of the ease out or because of the easy ease at the bottom?
See, this is going a lot slower, right? Because when things go up, they go up at much slower speed than when they go back down, right? See, this is like a much more natural way of animation. It goes down faster and it goes back up slower, right? Versus the linear where it's all the same speed.
Mhm.
You can kind of see it, right?
Right.
Yeah. So the easy ease in and easy ease out are really powerful way that you can create your keyframes in order to smooth out the animation. And I'll be sharing more on these, but for now, I think this is a good, place to. How are you guys doing? I know this is a lot. Do you want to maybe take a look at your work and then come back to the text engine tool? Because I don't want you to be overwhelmed because there's a lot, that the other one is going to be more complicated. So I need fresh mm, um, eyes and ears and mind. You know what? Let's start. It's 20 to 4. Let's start looking at a couple of your submissions. And then I'm going to then we take a break, and when you come back from the break, we'll do the text engine tool, which is kind of more complicated. Or do you want me to go over it right now? Any suggestions? Do you have any preference?
Uh, we can do that later.
Okay, sounds great. Okay, I'm gonna stop the recording. Make sure that I record that one though. Oh, am I not able to? Okay, let's see here. Did I stop the recording?